Welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Okay. One of the basics I'm communicating to spirits, ETs, again, really, you want to embrace the simplicity that an ET is just some person who is living on a planet other than Earth. That's the simplicity of it. And there are trillions of them. And most of them, the largest percentage, are in telepathic rapport. They're able to communicate with you. It is their total natural way of communicating, just like we used verbal communication, and we don't think anything of it. That's just the way they operate. So the invitation is to, operate in that way yourself. And the basic is just to simply consider that when you think of them, you are in communication with them. And what you want to do is, of course, think of a specific ET, like, hello, anybody out there who loves nature? Yoo-hoo! And you will feel a contact with someone, right? And you just validate that contact. And then the idea is to allow whatever comes through. You want to start and sit there and simply allow whatever comes through. And what comes through is not necessarily articulate language. What is happening is the being will have a whole thought. Oh, what an incredibly beautiful day. Look at all of this. Just like we would. We look at a sunset and go, oh, beautiful. That concept will come through with the ability to see the sunset, experience the sunset. Sometimes very dramatically more than we do as a human, because you're actually permeating into the environment itself. So you'll get to feel like the whole environment, because the person has that in their consciousness, and you can feel that. The love is the absolute key in terms of keeping the flow going. You want to feel the love for that person, and you want to feel their love for you. That's the carrier wave, is the love, right? The judgment, the analysis will shut it off. Am I really communicating? Shut it off, just like throwing a switch. What's really going on? Any kind of trying to analysis or figure out mental activity will tend to get in the way. If you want to know something, just telepathically ask it, Hey, you got any buildings on your place? That kind of thing, and see what happens. Anybody got any question on that? Yes?
I thought that they didn't have like a planet, I guess some do, but lots do, but don't also some have just planes of existence?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Virtually anything you can think of is true. Every construct you can imagine is true, right?
Just thinking of it makes it true.
Thinking of it makes it true, exactly right. That's the fifth density reality. It's called instantaneous creation without argument. The thought and the reality are of the same frequency. Whereas in this reality, we think of an elephant flying around, and if we compare it with the physical reality, it doesn't seem to have the same degree of reality, because the body is on a much more dense set of vibrations and frequencies. And if you do a comparison, it seems insubstantial in comparison to the density that you're familiar with in using the physical body, right? We normally think of our five senses, sight, sound, smell, touch, as senses. But from an expanded consciousness point of view, they're actually filters. They are filtering out most of the realities. They're focusing down to a limited reality so that it occurs automatically. All you have to do is identify with the body. Here I am. And it will instantaneously create the limited reality that we call day-to-day physical reality. Right? It's an energy translating device. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So the more you can imagine yourself leaving the body, just leaving it alone, or integrating your total self, which is even more workable.
Are you saying tonal?
Total.
Oh,
my total self, my total spiritual, my ultimate magnificence, my godhood, my divinity. See, we normally in this society have been invited to consider that God is all powerful, can do this, is all knowing and all of that. And those are the characteristics of a true God. But most of the religions, I know I was brought up Catholic, and although it wasn't said out loud, the concept was that there is only one God and it is not you. Right? Right. And the Christ consciousness is the realization that you are it all. Right? There's literally an infinity of infinities. Each being is the all and the one simultaneously. Right? I once had the experience of the universe literally ceasing to exist by the thought that it didn't exist, that I could turn it on and off just by it's here, it's not here. It exists, it doesn't exist. And I had it just literally vanish and appear, vanish and appear, vanish and appear. And I said, ooh, what a grand experience. How do I pull that off? You pretend that you're doing it and that you're doing it perfectly, and just allow the experience to be here. It's here, it's not here. And you do that with any construct. Oh, I'm talking to beings who live on a different plane. So you just put it there and you allow it to be real. And that's the simplicity, right? Any question about it? Simple?
The only question I still had was about vibration. Is there some way to raise or match our vibration?
We're about to do that right now, called signature vibration exercises. I'm going to give you some familiarity with it, okay? And this is, by the way, I gave this name. Bashar has the concept that we tune to the signature vibration of a biological entity. Sounds very impressive and technical. It isn't. It's incredibly simple. Think of a friend. Everybody got one? You just tune to the signature vibration of that person. Right? That's it. That's the incredible simplicity of it. What is the signature vibration? It is the matrix, the energy matrix that is the person themselves, right? Which includes the body and their thoughts and their beingness and their ideas and their mind. It's the combined matrix. It is just the person that you're focusing on. Okay? All right, let's play some exercises. Okay, think of Chicago. Everybody done that? Okay, now get a feeling when you think of Chicago. See if you get a feeling. Do you get a feeling?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Think of Hawaii. Now notice the difference between the feeling of Hawaii and the feeling of Chicago. Notice how different they are? Very good. Now think of New York. Okay? Now notice the difference between the feeling of New York and the feeling of Chicago and the feeling of Hawaii. Okay? You're getting a different feeling, right? That feeling is the energy matrix. The female has a tendency to go more than the male. They go through feelings and intuition, right? The male has a tendency to validate intellect more than feeling. The feeling is the thing that connects you to it, the feminine energy, if you will, right? Harry Belafonte said, the woman is smarter than the man in every way. Some of us male egos think we don't like it, but it's really true because the female has the feeling, the birth energy, the feeling, and that's where you want to go for. Okay, let's do some more. Get the feeling of Germany. Now get the feeling of Germany during the time of Hitler. Okay, now get the feeling of Germany today. And as best you can, allow the idea of Hitler and the Third Reich to fall away and feel Germany as it is today. And notice that you get a feeling. Okay, now get a feeling of Russia. Notice the difference between the feeling of Russia and the feeling of Germany. Okay, thank you. Okay, get the feeling of Chicago during the time of the Roaring '20s. Good. Now get the feeling of Chicago in modern day. Notice the difference between the feelings. The Chicago of 1920 and the Chicago of today, right? Now get the feeling of Chicago as it will be 100 years from now. Again, don't question it, don't analyze it, just let yourself get the feeling. Now let some of the images come through of what it looks like 100 years from now. Okay, thank you. Good. Anybody want to share what they perceived?
Did anybody else see a pile of rubble?
Okay. All right,
I saw
fair enough.
flying cars.
Flying cars, very good, excellent, good. Okay. Now realize that all realities are possible. All, any scenario is possible, right? Bashar was asked many times about, can you predict the future? And he had some interesting responses. And I'd like you to ask me that. Can I predict the future?
Can you predict the future?
Absolutely. When this seminar is over, you're going to leave this room. Hey, pretty spot on, huh? What we're doing is we're sensing the most probable energy based on the mass consciousness at any given time. Obviously, it is quite probable, 99% certain, that after the seminar you're going to leave this room. You're not going to sleep here overnight, right? No more. Had enough of you, right? So you're sensing the most probable energy. And in sensing it, it changes, right? So, it's not fixed. It can be the way you sense it, or it can be another way. Again, we're writing the script, okay? All right, get the feeling of Christmas. Thank you. Get the feeling of Easter. Notice the difference between the feeling of Easter and the feeling of Christmas. Good, you get the feeling of Thanksgiving. Okay, and notice again the difference between the feeling of Thanksgiving, the feeling of Christmas, the feeling of Easter. Notice that they are different feelings. Everybody notice that? And you're literally tuning to the signature vibration. It is that simple. Easter, shoot. Now, all of us there is an agreed upon average, right, which we call physical reality. Everybody who comes into this room is going to pretty much see this room with the four walls, and they're going to see, those lights up there, and they're going to see those beams up there. This is the average of agreement. But each of us also creates our opinions of it, our attitudes regarding it, maybe the history. Oh, I was in this room when James gave a lecture, or I was in this, right? We have our individual additives that we add onto the agreed upon norm, okay? And so it is with Christmas. If you sit there and think of Christmas, I'm sure that Christmases of yours will tend to come to view, right? But you're tuning to the basic idea of Christmas. That's a signature vibration. And then, especially if you say, okay, let the memories flow on the subject of Christmas, they will. In fact, let's do that. Once again, get the signature vibration, get the feeling of Christmas. And now say, Memories flow. Okay, how many got images and memories? Yes, okay, we all did, right. One of my favorite memories, my father was a bookie, big JRaff, right? One of the funnest characters you ever want to meet. And he would buy a Christmas tree, and it was always too big for the house. Right? You'd have to cut off the bottom, it's cut off the top. But even after you cut it off, it was a beautiful tree. One of my favorite Christmases, Pop was in the money. Sometimes he was in the money, sometimes he wasn't, and if he wasn't, Mom would have money stashed aside for Christmas, right? But this year he was really in the money, and I'll never forget it. It came out from my bedroom. There was a pyramid of presents, wrapped presents, going up literally almost as high as the tree, right? There was the latest American Flyer Silver Streak train going around the tree. There was the latest hi-fi, right? And the latest Remington typewriter, right? Whoa, Pop was in the money, woo, abundance, right? And see, it brings a smile because we go, whoa, abundance. We were really deprived kids. We would have Christmas Eve at Simati's, at the Italian side of the family. We'd have a fabulous, incredible dinner and get all kinds of presents. Then we'd wake up in the morning and Mom and Pop had all of the presents in Christmas. Then we go out to my mother's side of the family, to Nellie and Pliny Pratt's place, and we get to dinner and a whole bunch of presents. Really deprived kid, right? See, so I have a lot of wonderful memories. Now, obviously, you can have lousy memories too. But once again, think of Christmas. Okay, now see a future Christmas. Just allow it to occur. Okay, thank you very much. Very good. Anybody want to share? Yeah. I had a Christmas in which I'm being picked up in Buddy's LX-41 Cruiser's spaceship, and we're zipping up to the mothership and having Christmas with a family of ETs from all over the galaxy. It was kind of a neat Christmas. Okay, anybody else get anything?
I started to go off into something that I wouldn't really want to experience, so I morphed it into something I did want to experience.
Excellent, excellent. See, now that's the key. We are the author. What comes in is often a reflection of some of the belief systems that we still have that we're connected to in this reality. But we have the ability to go, oh, that's what a valid experience, but not one I choose, not one I prefer. And you can literally move it off your consciousness. You can do it in fun ways. You can go, pew, shoot it off, or pew. Or you can just move it off to the right, or you can have it drop through the earth, fall out, go out the other side, and become energy for some spaceship, It can be very creative, or you can just, like you did, let it go, and you rewrite a scenario. Okay. For years I asked the question, is it really there? Or am I imagining it? Anybody got an answer to that question?
It's there if you believe it, yes.
Yes, yes. Good answer. Yes. Her answer was yes. Is it really real or is it my imagination? Yes. Are we putting it all there? Yes. Is it all there already? Yes. Is it not there? Yes. It all exists. There isn't anything that we cannot think of that does not exist. One of the first times I went into past lives, quote unquote, I ended up in a place called Magic Track. It was another reality in which all kinds of magical games were going on. I was flying through the air and I was attacked by this guy called the Flyman. He came after me. Woo, we're flying around, he's chasing me. He caught me, hit me, fell down in a bed of tulips, and he ate me. It was fun to have it from an exterior point of view. It wasn't fun to have it really occur. Right? But you say, was it real? It was incredibly real when I read it. It was more real than physical reality, right? So again, we're putting the signature vibration there and then allowing the flow to occur or put it there. And you can put it there in specifics or you can put it there in generalities. You can say, oh, this is a beautiful forest environment that has all kinds of really neat creatures. It can be that simple. In fact, let's do that. Okay? Tune to the idea that there is this beautiful, lush nature environment, planet, if you will, that has all kinds of neat creatures on it. Tune to that, feel you're there, have some experiences. I'm going to leave you for a moment. All right, thank you very much. Anybody want to share?
I was riding a waterfall.
Riding a waterfall. Okay, lovely. Great. Anybody else?
There's a little critter sitting on my head, and playing, patting my head and playing with it.
Neat. See a little critter playing on my head, and he was smiling, right? Why are you smiling? Because we said they're neat, fun creatures. So you define the scenario. And you can have all kinds of surprises, all kinds of neatnesses, just because you go, right? Fun environment, enjoyable, I'm going to have a ball. And then you can have all kinds of surprises, creatures show up, things happen, that sort of thing, right? And you go, is it real? Well, from a divinity consciousness viewpoint, it becomes instantaneously created and is real. It'll become more and more real the more you practice. Practice, 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 right? Okay, now again, create that environment. Ooh, a really neat planet, lush, beautiful forest, lush, beautiful area, really neat creatures, and some really cool people. Okay? Now meet one of those people and hug them. Feel their body. Feel your body hugging their bodies. Allow it to be as real as you possibly can, and consider that you are doing it perfectly. Don't struggle, regardless of what you feel or don't feel. Allow it to be as real as it can be right now. Hear some sounds. Feel the other person's body. Feel yourself touching their body, their skin, their arms, whatever you... And feel them touching you. Hear some sounds of some neat creatures. Get a sense of what it smells like. And again, consider you're doing it perfectly, regardless of what you do or do not get. Okay, thank you very much. Good. Anybody want to share? Anybody not want to share?
I'm a little sleepy.
Okay, very good. Okay.
You were talking, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Charles. Either way.
Arms, and so I was thinking how many arms. I wound up with 6 arms.
All right, cool. Cool. Neat. Do you want to share?
No, I raised my hand not wanting to share.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right?
Thank you, John.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yes, it
So wake you
does.
up a little?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
All right. Lovely.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. See, the energy comes flowing in, and the body can get fatigued, right? So we'll just give it some energy. That's all. You can always help your friends
Thank
have a little more energy. Okay, everybody rub somebody's back.
Everybody rub somebody's back.
Yeah, rub her back here. Here we go. Right. Okay. All right, now this is the simplicity of signature vibrations. Again, we're going to go back to the simple basics, right? Okay, get the feeling of ice cream. Oh, yeah, get the feeling of chocolate.
I'm with it.
Good, notice the difference between the feeling of chocolate and the feeling of ice cream. Good, now put the two together. Got chocolate and ice cream. Feel that. Right? Okay. Feel the excitement of some incredible lover is going to come into your life, right? And make wonderful love to you in ways you like a lot. Right. And get the idea that they're totally thrilled to be with you. Right? And they love making love with you and going places with you and having great times, and you just get along, you have great conversations, you give each other back rubs, right? And hugs, and you really love it. Okay? Good? Okay?
Yeah.
And now tell the universe to take care of that. Right? Take care of that. If you want it, tell the universe to take care of it. See, the universe is you, and the higher power, the higher self, can orchestrate these things into existence. Just tell it to do so. You know, take care of that, and allow it to occur when it occurs. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just reviewing here, okay? You allow whatever comes through, right? And oh yeah, and you cheer. I couldn't read my own writing. Cheer whatever comes through, cheer whatever doesn't come through. Yahoo! 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 Because if you don't, you're tending to put yourself down. It's easy to fall into, I'm not doing this well, or nothing is really happening, you know, that kind of thing. And if you allow that to occur, it'll kill it. You got to go, yeah, nothing's happening. Whoa! I went to connect to an ET, an alien who loves me. And what did I get? Nothing. Cool. I got nothing. Right? See? You validate that. And you go on, you know, okay, let me try again. Well, not try again, but do again. Okay? Right? And off we go. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay. Everyone pick a favorite person who is no longer physically alive in the third density plane of existence. Tell me when you got one. Raise your hand. Who you have? Charles, who have you got?
I don't want to share.
Okay, very good.
Lori.
Good.
April.
Good.
Kennedy.
Good.
They're all alive.
Huh?
They're all alive.
Oh, smart ass.
Well, my mom's 99. Nobody's died.
Yeah, you're totally great. Okay, very good. Okay, now think of them. Feel that in thinking of them, you are in communication with them. And go ahead and share things. Ask them questions if you want. Listen to the answer. You know, what's going on, what's happening, whatever you want. Go ahead and experience that person. And remember to feel the love they have for you and the love you have for them. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Not that you need to break the connection. You can maintain it if you like. You know, it could be part of what's going on. Okay, I'm going to share first. First thing I got was my mom, right? And just a feeling of love. Love for her, love for me. Didn't have to say anything. Just, hi, Mom. Then I got my wife, Carolyn, who departed, and we were ice skating. I went ice skating together. Carolyn, in this life, couldn't ice skate worth a damn. However, our ice skating here was comparable to Torval and Dean, if you know who they are. They're Olympic champions, right? And I could feel her body, and I could feel the ice. I can feel it now, of us moving and gliding together. Beautiful dance. Cool. Anybody else want to share?
I got, oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my mom, just like you said.
Oh,
Go
lovely, lovely. Good.
well, my mom is still here, but she has dementia.
Yep.
So I went to that place where she doesn't,
Ah, beautiful.
and we had a really nice visit.
Yeah, and see the joy,
Yeah.
see the feeling, the joy, the love. And that's what it's all about. Life is to be enjoyed. And all of this is just enjoyment, you know? And if your mind goes, oh, this is just your imagination, say, well, thank you for the invitation. No, thank you. It's real. You know, allow it to be real, and more real it will become. Okay? Anybody else? All right. Yes?
Oh, I was just going to say, I asked Kennedy if he knew anything about the UFOs and the ET program, and I believe I got an affirmative answer on that.
Excellent. Yes. Yes, he knew a lot about it. Yeah, yeah. Cool being. Actually, they're all cool. It's just amazing. Okay, thank you, lovely. Okay, now we could go on, and you can practice these things. The signature vibration is simply tuning to different times, different realities. I asked Bashar once, you know, how do they travel to our planet? You know, holy moly, they're like so many light years away. And light travels at 186,000 miles per second. You know, if they're 100 light years away, take 100 years to get it, even if you're traveling at the speed of light. How do you pull this off? And he had a very, very interesting answer. He said, our computers are self-aware. Right. They grow the crystal matrix of the computer with the signature vibration of their own consciousness. So the computer recognizes them. Hey, hi, Bashar, you know that. And they recognize the computer, okay? He says he will sit in a ship as an example and think Chicago 1920. They can travel in time or in space, and so can all of us, right? The only reason you can't travel in time is because you consider you can't. Oh, it's fixed. And if you go back and alter the time, then everything will change. If you say so. If you write the script that way, yes. But in reality, it's all created instant to instant to instant. Okay? Yes? Yes, Buck? Yes? Is that right, Buck? Yep.
I think so.
You think so? Okay, good. I'm going to come and sit on you
Oh!
for a while, right? Because it'll help you be a little bit more alert. Plus, it's softer than the chair I'm sitting on over there, you know. So. No, I haven't got that. That's not part of my signature vibration, right? Okay? So he said what they do is he thinks Chicago 1920. So the computer creates an isolation, a spherical isolation field around the ship, which it broadcasts every known frequency, thereby isolating the ship from any particular frequency, any particular signature vibration. He says that the computer then causes everything, including the space itself, every molecule in his body, every molecule atom in the ship, to vibrate at the carrier frequency of Chicago 1920. Right? In other words, the whole environment is vibrating at Chicago 1920. And it's as simple as you thinking Chicago 1920, because when you think that, images start coming through, right, to varying degrees. You get flappers in the 1920s, and those things that you know are part of 1920 come into your reality. So he said he thinks that the computer causes everything to vibrate. It then removes the isolation field, and the ship, by necessity, must now take up residence in Chicago 1920 because it is the carrier frequency to which it is attuned. Right.
When you said they grow the crystal according to that person's consciousness, what if that person's consciousness changes from the time they grew the crystal to, moments later or days or weeks or whatever?
It's dynamic. The crystal is in constant communication. It's telepathic. The computer is telepathic and they're telepathic.
Like Wi-Fi being on.
Exactly. It morphs itself as things go forward. Yes?
Why do they need a spaceship at all?
Because they are creating the reality of needing a spaceship. Because it is a particular way of experiencing life. All of the civilizations have different unique ways of experiencing life in reality because we're all unique. Right? We all write different scripts. We all write different scenarios. And they're all valid. They're all valid ways of experiencing life. People would say, to Bashar, why am I having a headache? And he goes, why not? Right? It's one of the things that can be experienced, right? And that's just one of the ways. Now, in actual fact, from the time that we were there, their civilization has pretty much evolved into the first stages of fifth density. So they are relinquishing their physicality, right? And becoming thoughts in a universe of thoughts. So then there is no need to have a ship. But different ships are fun. Why do you go ride in a fast car? Ooh, it's cool, right? Neat. Why ride on the subway? Saying, it would be more fun to simply appear there rather than use a ship. That is one of the ways that we can look at it. Personally, I love flying around in spaceships. I've had many of them at different times, and I love them. They're a lot of fun, right? Especially the individual ones, woo, and zip in and out. So it is just a matter of choice. It's one of the ways. Some people like to ride roller coasters. Some people like to contemplate riding roller coasters rather than riding them. Does that answer your question, sir? Mm-hmm. Okay, lovely. Good. Anybody else with any other question at this point in time? Okay, rub your face. All right. Okay, move your body around in the chair a little bit so you can get some blood moving. Okay, do some of this. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ee ah, ooh ah, ee ah, rah, 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 rah. Okay, because you've been listening to a lot of data, doing a lot of things. All right, let's see where we are. I'm going to go through my handy dandy checklist here, see what we have covered and what we have not covered and where we're at. All right, and we're going to review the basics. The Christ consciousness is a state of consciousness where you are conscious that you are the one and you are everything else. Everybody got that?
That's fifth density?
Huh?
Is that fifth density?
That is a definition.
Right.
A definition of a state of consciousness. It is not a density unless you consider that it is. Right? Because at that state of consciousness, there are no limitations. It is exactly as you consider it to be at any given moment in time. But technically, yes, you are being an infinite potential in an idea, in a universe of ideas. So if you think elephant, the elephant is instantaneously, physically real, like a physical elephant would be here. Right?
Like a dream that feels real?
Yes, or a dream that actually does feel real, right? Yes, it would be the same degree of reality. So if you went amazing, incredible house that is grown in a tree, and it's a fantastic, really neat house with great people in it. You could have that generality and then go experience the house, right? You don't have to design every detail. You just go, it's a fabulous house. And what it would do then is you would actually experience the fabulousness and uniqueness of this house just because you defined it to be that way. Understood? And the Christ consciousness is simply a term where we are operating as our whole self, right? As our magnificent, unlimited self. Got it? Yes? Clear? At the turn of the century, okay, you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. At the turn of the century, a set of dictionaries was published called the Century Dictionary Encyclopedia, right? Huh?
New century.
Yeah, 1900s. Century Dictionary, C-E-N, Century Dictionary Encyclopedia, C-Y-C-L-O, not encyclopedia, cyclopedia. It was a set of dictionaries about the size of the old Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica. Yeah, big set of dictionaries, okay? And what it was a chronology of the language. It took the original source meaning of the word, the original concept, and traced its alterations through history and literature, right? Our modern day dictionaries tend to define words in order of common usage, the first one being the most commonly used, then it goes down to specialized definitions, and then to archaic definitions, and sometimes we'll give the source definition at the bottom of all that, okay? But again, this traced the original source meaning of words and its alteration through literature and history. Got it? Come on, I want everybody to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll keep you alert if you do that. Come on, I want you to stay alert. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Everybody do it. Yeah. I'm hearing you, John. Give me a...
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm with you, baby.
I'm with you, baby.
Okay, good. See, that keeps us alive. Okay. The definition of power blew me away. The original source meaning was, quote, such an absence of external restriction and limitation that it depends only upon the inward determination of the subject whether or not it will act.
Wow, that's awesome.
Power.
Okay.
Wow,
Power.
that is
Give
awesome.
it to me again, please.
Such an absence of external restriction and limitation that it depends only upon the inward determination of the subject whether or not it will act. Instantaneous creation without argument. You have no concept of limitation, no concept of external restriction. It does not exist in your consciousness. In a state of true power, there is no idea of limitation. There is no idea that anything can prevent you from doing anything. Now, how do you get into that state of power? By imagining that you're in it and allowing your imagination to be real. Create flying elephants. Go to planets that are wonderful, and where you can do it as a generality. I'm going to go to this planet, meet a lot of great beings, and you practice allowing that to materialize, right? Okay. Such an absence of external restriction and limitation that it depends only upon the inward determination of the subject whether or not it will act. Okay? This is true power. This is the Christ consciousness. This is you as divinity, right? Which includes this particular reality. You can tune to this as an experience. You can tune to another reality as an experience, just as you're doing in the signature vibration exercises. I'm tuning to Chicago 1920. I'm tuning to Chicago 3014, right? And you can play with that. And it's a matter of what Victor Borge said, practice, right? And you make the practice fun, right? This is true power. Now, we still have that power, but we have been in the habit in the contract of agreement of calling it just imagination and not real. And hence it does what we tell it to. You keep calling it an imagination and not real, and the universe has no choice but to prove that you're right. Right? But if you practice considering that it is real and allowing it to be real and practicing more and more, seeing, hearing, smelling, and I do that with clients. I have a gal that can go to planets, civilizations, other realities, physical, non-physical, and experience them with perceptions far greater than anything that she experiences through the physical limitations and filters of a five-sense system. Right? And how did she get there? Practice. We did sessions every week for an hour and a half, and we just practiced just like I was doing with you. But we did it more and more, and then I invited her to practice every day. You know, we would practice just spotting loved ones who loved us. You know, do that for 20 minutes a day. Oh, there's somebody who loves me. Oh, I love them. They love me. Feel the love. Feel the love. Very simple, right? The more and more practice, the more and more it got real. And again, love is the key because love is what we really are, right? Fundamentally. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, John. Come on.
Cool, John.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay, all right. That was the first definition of power. Remember, it was a chronology of the language. First definition, source, such an absence of external restriction and limitation that it depends only upon the inward determination of the subject whether or not it can act. That is a way you can experience power. You can consider there are no restrictions, there are no limitations. And if you practice that state of consciousness, it will become more and more. Got it? Second definition, alteration in literature and history. An endowment of a voluntary being whereupon it can act. That was the second definition. An endowment of a voluntary being whereupon it can act. Now you have the power being granted to you by some external source. The power comes from God. The power comes from knowledge. The power comes from how many fireworks you have. Power comes from how much money you have. See? An endowment, right? Idea of a voluntary being whereupon it can act, right? I do hereby give you permission to act. You can come and go as you choose. You have free will. I have given it to thee, and free will thou dost not have. You can go to the workshop of Raffaello even. You can go that far. You know, you can be that weird if you like. I give you free will. Go forth and go wherever the hell you want to go. Right? But see, the idea is that your ability to go where you want to go is being granted to you by some external source. And that's one of the precepts of a lot of religions, right? God gives you the power. By the grace of God, I go forth. Cool. Again, nothing wrong with that as long as you're consciously aware of what's going on. You can create an external God that gives you power if you want. That's one way you can play the game, right? But for you to buy into it and not know that you're creating it, you bought into it from somebody else inviting you to buy into it, and you don't really realize that you're writing the script, that's where you become a master of limitation. Which is, again, okay? Now the definitions deteriorated into force. You know, how much chi do you have to punch the other guy out, right? How many bombs have you got to bomb that SOB that's getting in your way, you know? How much money do you have to manipulate the society and the culture, right? Right, so power became how much stuff you have, how much money you have, how many armaments you have, how many soldiers you have in your army, right? How many staff you have that can kick the ass out of the competition, right? Right? Bill Gates, who is probably gave us one of the greatest contributions, well, he and several others like Steve Jobs and other people gave us the internet, access to information. Wonderful, wonderful contribution. But he was also a competitive son of a bitch, right? Who buried the competition, right? Right. At times, and other times he was incredibly benevolent, as he is now with his wife, giving money to all sorts of neat stuff. But see, there's your deteriorization of power. Yes.
We talk a lot about the universe as being almost something godlike or separate from us. What would your definition of the universe be?
The is a definite article denoting singularity, implying that it's the only one. The universe. The word "the" is a definite article denoting singularity. The restaurant, right? The girl, the soulmate, right? Implying that there is only one, right? Top of the scale, one, right? Or the asshole, the number one asshole, right? He's the top one, right? Okay. The word "a" is an indefinite article denoting singularity. An asshole, a jerk, a soulmate, a restaurant, a cool restaurant, a lousy restaurant, a wonderful restaurant, a great theme park, a lousy theme park, a great attraction, a good movie, a lousy movie, right? Okay, you got the movie, that's the stuff, and then we assign the meaning, okay? The word universe means one version, universe. It is one version, one way things can be. What we call the physical universe is one way of experiencing a universe. Right?
When we talk in spiritual language, we talk about the universe gives you what you ask for and always says yes. So that's what I'm asking you about. The universe seems almost like it's separate from you there.
Yes, it seems like it's separate because that is a third density way of expressing it. It is the concept that the universe or the power is separate from you and it will bring it to you. That is a third density way of looking at it. Fourth density way of looking at it is I am the universe. I am the power. The power is me. Two ways of experiencing it, both valid. Our experience of being it all is extremely more powerful than the idea of separation. Right? Right? Much more workable to be it all. Does that answer your question? Good. Didn't answer your question. Go forth. What do you got? Give it to me again.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
I've always wondered why I can materialize some very specific things, and we're talking specific.
Right.
But they're quote unquote small, with no problem whatsoever. And yet, some of the big desires that I have for my life, I'm still waiting for. They have materialized. Why? Like if the universe is saying, if you have there's a thing in Science of Mind that says, or wherever, it says that if you've been given a burning desire, you've been given that burning desire because it's supposed to be materialized in your life. I have a number of burning desires that haven't been materialized. They're still burning away.
Let me first respond in this way. Me too. Right?
Your wonder part.
Exactly. My totally perfectly functioning body again, that functions absolutely perfectly again, right? It was created out of cells coming together and growing. There's no reason it can't just grow back into a perfect body. But it hasn't so far. And my product hasn't materialized so far. And my perfect mate is no longer in physical reality. She was, but no longer is. How come? I'm going to dramatize something for you just for fun, and then I'm going to answer the question, how come? Okay? I played the lead and fiddler on the roof once to Apollo. And he starts out and he goes, in our little village of Anatimka, we have many traditions. For instance, we always go over our head and wear a prayer shawl. This shows our constant devotion to God. You ask me, how did this tradition get started? I will tell you. I don't know. But it is a tradition. And with our tradition, we have kept our balance for many a year. My answer to your question is, why doesn't your favorite material dreams materialize when you told the universe to do it? To be real sincere and honest, I don't know. I am seeking those answers. I am seeking to become less of a master of limitation and more of a person who lives a life of ongoing ecstasy. And that's what Bashar says they live. They live in ongoing ecstasy. Absolutely, totally perfect, completely marvelous, and then it gets better. And I have experienced that. I experienced that with a gal in this lifetime. Love so magnificent, so complete, that there literally was no want. The very concept of want didn't exist in my consciousness. Total, absolute perfection. Absolutely impossible to get better, and then it got better. I have experienced that. The gal who wrote the book, Dying to Be Me, had a similar experience. She offers her thoughts for why that occurred. Why did she get cancer? She said fear, and then she goes through the details of all the different kinds of fears that she created during her life. And she says, how come the body healed? Because I experienced my divinity. I experienced my utter magnificence. I experienced a level of consciousness that was literally the original source definition of power. I've been reading the book now for a week, and every night I've been trying to pull that off. And I have not done so. Why? I do not know. I was trying. That could be it. That's one of the things. She says, one of the reasons that she had this experience from her point of view was that she finally gave up. She finally just stopped handling it. She spent years and years doing every kind of therapy you can think of to get rid of the cancer. And she finally just relinquished. I let go completely. Stopped trying to resolve it. I'm dying, that's it. And just acquiesced to the existing, and she said it triggered her into her divine self. I thought, ooh, really cool. I will do that. I didn't. I worked on it for all night long. I will let go. I'm going to completely, but letting go, First of all, I don't even know if it would work. I don't know that. It might actually work if I let go of everything and turned it over to God. There are phrases in spiritualism called let go and let God. Well, I've never let go to that, And I also have my mind going in opposition. What the hell? The stupid universe doesn't know what I want? How can it be so stupid? As to not, I told it what I want, make it, right? Why am I in this state of limitation? I don't know all of those answers. I just know that the exercises I invited you to do, going into communication with other beings and other entities, connecting to the magnificence, the uniqueness of other beings, contributes to the expansion of the consciousness. I have a hell of a lot of fun talking with Marilyn Monroe, right? And having some good times with Marilyn Monroe, right? And Natalie Wood, who I had a crush on when I was a kid, even though I didn't meet her. I have a great time fulfilling my dreams with Natalie Wood. I had an experience, an actual experience for a number of years of this location in my hometown showing up, a totally nondescript location. It was in a grass, you got the sidewalk and the grass in the street, right? Everybody, yeah? It was a piece of grass. And it kept showing up very dramatically. Da-da, the grass. Da-da, the grass. The hell is this? Da-da. It would keep showing up for years, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I got what it was. It was a doorway to desire. It was an actual porthole in the physical universe that when you stepped through it, you fulfilled a desire. And I went, whoa, and I could really feel it, and I could feel that it was real. And I went to step through it, and it didn't work. So I wrote a movie called, what did I call it? Hold on. Doorway to Desire. But what was that? It was a connection with a greater self, a connection with more of my own magnificence. And I've been blessed to have a number of those. And all of the invitation of this, talk to ETs and talk to spirits and talk to your mom and talk to her when she was 10 and talk to her when she was 12, is all an invitation to experience a grander consciousness. And I think in doing that, there's a good chance, well, first of all, we'll have a lot of fun, and that aligns with the idea of enjoying your life, right? And the second thing is it may trigger us very much into our unlimited consciousness, our state of consciousness where there is no limitation and there is no restriction. But to be real honest, sitting here right now, being whatever it is the hell I am being right now, right? I'm not in that state of consciousness. So you ask me, how come these things didn't happen? How come the Wonder World Project? I used to ask Bashar that. In fact, the first time I asked him, he pissed me off. I said, how come my theme park isn't materializing? He said, maybe it's your process. And I thought, fuck you, my process. I want my theme park, right? Well, after I got over my pissed offness at that response, I started learning a lot of things about myself. I progressed a lot. In fact, I moved into being able to telepathically communicate with anybody. And the theme park, by the way, as it's envisioned, has a department where you can dress up like aliens. It's got all pictures of all actual aliens. Now, people who come to it don't know they're actual pictures of aliens, but you got all these pictures of aliens. And you got 3 levels of makeup you can go through. So you can walk around as one of these aliens, because there's a section called United Worlds. And in the section, there's the Crass Saucer Salad Bar. Isn't that cool, the Crass Saucer Salad Bar? Yeah. And you can sit around having your salad talking to some aliens, right? Because they're teleporting in and their ships are landing all the time, right? Well, you can dress up one of these aliens. Well, the mystique in the park is you don't know if you're encountering a guest one of our team members or an actual ET, because it's a safe environment for the ETs to walk around in. Now, what am I doing there? I am creating a possible reality and energizing it in which I can experience that. And in my mind and in my spirit or in my imagination, see, I'm still tending to call that not quite real. I've experienced those aliens. I've sat down. I've had conversations at the grass saucer salad bar with them, and it was very real because I allowed it to be real, right? And I believe that the more we practice being the all and the one, or even pretending that we're all the one, the more experiences of ourselves actually being that thing will occur. Those are my answers.
Good answers.
Okay. I had a philosopher who said the greatest pretense is that it isn't all a pretense. I like that one. The greatest pretense is that we're not pretending it all into existence. We ask, why is my great dream not materializing? Bashar would say, because your great dream is not materializing. That is the experience you are having now. Are you resisting it? Are you protesting it? Are you relishing in the absence of what you want? Ooh, what I want is not here. How cool. We don't do that. We go, shit. A desire is normally defined as the absence of something we want. Right? I want it. It ain't here. Yes.
In Avatar, as contrasted with Scientology, they have a desire-resist duality, and there's a process for it.
Yeah.
Desire and resist. In Scientology, it's more direct, and I forget what it is. I mean, it's just two things, very simple, but it's very direct. It seems like the Avatar is a little bit one step removed from. But I just wanted to point out that there is that dichotomy, and there's a process for it.
Yes, I know of it. Harry Palmer, who created Avatar, created it after I did a number of seminars and workshops at his mission.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That was never mentioned.
Never mentioned. And I introduced him to Bashar at that particular time, and he asked the church to have me excommunicated. Right, for that. And then he went around and did it. Now that's yeah, and that's absolutely wonderful. That was obviously part of my consciousness, part of my experience. I could be pissed off about it, but then I'm pissed off, I suffer. It's stupid. Harry Palmer is an absolutely magnificent, fabulous being.
I just remember the other dichotomy in Scientology, it's reach and withdraw.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
seems to me more direct.
Reach for it, withdraw from it. You know, reach for it, withdraw from it. In other words, you are dissolving your resistance to the absence. You're relishing in the absence. Reach for it as if it was there, withdraw from it as if it was not there. You can do those techniques on and off. Reach for it.
There seems to be some kind of dynamic tension between desire and resist, too.
Yes, absolutely. Especially if you think there is.
Like it's fun to resist what you want. I mean, I've done that.
Yes, yes. And see that.
You're having sex.
See, yes, there you go. Right.
Or not.
You're not. Yeah. But see, again, it's exploring more and more of who and what we are and what we are creating. I like one of Abraham's definitions for desire. A delicious anticipation of what's to come. Everybody go to, ooh, delicious anticipation. Ooh, it is coming. Oh, yeah, it is on its way. Right? But what, you have to resist the mind that says bullshit. Right? Right? Delicious anticipation, rather than focusing our energy on its absence. Right? Absence. And what I do is, if you remember, I gave you the I feel fabulous when I was in unbelievable pain. And I just focused, I feel fabulous, absolute insistence, devoted all my energy to that, and all of the crap just blew out of my universe. And what am I doing? I'm saying it is now. And here at the Global Truth Center, there's a lot of that. It exists now. The truth is, it's now, right? But I'm still working on really energizing that it is now rather than it ain't now. We're using the physical universe to say it isn't there. L. Ron Hubbard, who was probably very controversial at these particular times, who created Scientology and Dianetics, a lot of people go, oh my God, it's horrible. And yes, there were some people who did some extremely horrible things and did them really well. Right? But I studied Ron in detail, and Ron was a genius. And also in my estimate, he just chimed in with me, and was an egotistical maniac, and he agrees both. He was both a genius and that. He took philosophies and he created techniques that enable people to potentially experience amazing things, or at least to experience a more enjoyable life. And he did a lot of amazing work. And one of his books was called Scientology 8008. Now, the word Scientology, again, ology means the study of. So whatever is in front of it means the study of. So real fundamentally, skio was the Greek word for knowledge in its fullest sense. So it was the study of knowledge in its fullest sense. And knowledge was certainty, not data. Right? You were absolutely certain. Right? That was true knowledge. Certainty, not data. So fundamentally, the word Scientology means the study of knowledge in its fullest sense. In a practical sense, it means knowing how to know anything. Knowing how to know. You might not know anything, but you learn how to know anything. By that definition, I became a true Scientologist. I never joined any of the organizations. I refused. I don't like organizations because they tend to squash individuals by their very nature. But I became a true Scientologist by the definition of knowing how to know anything. I know how to know anything. I might not know anything, but I know how to go about it. Scientology 8008 was a formula. The first eight was infinity, turned upwards. Infinity. What do we mean by infinity? Such an absence of external restriction and limitation that it depends only upon the determination of the subject whether or not it will act. Godhood, right? Functional, operational godhood. And you already are that God. Make an elephant. Everybody make an elephant. Okay, have it fly through the air. See, you're God. You just go, yeah, but that's not real. That kind of, right? And then it becomes not real. Okay. First one was the attainment of infinity for the individual. In other words, you're getting every magnificent thing you want, and me getting everything magnificent thing I want, living in a state of total ecstasy, completely satisfied, with the consideration that nothing could possibly get any better, and then it gets better. Right? That's what Bashar's fourth density civilization. They claim that's the way they live. Right? Chronically, day to day. Okay. So it was the attainment of infinity. This was Hubbard's formula. By the next eight was the infinity of the physical universe. The apparency that the physical universe was all. Right? That's it. Right? You are pretty much nothing, man. Hurricane comes through, it's going to blow the hell out of you. Big deal. It's got the power, you don't. Right? The formula was reduce the apparent infinity of the physical universe to zero and raise the apparent zero of the individual to infinity. So if we practice communicating with ETs, loved ones, departed ones, creating environments that we consider real, especially if we go enjoy them, we feel the love of them and the love for us, then we are making our own divinity real. where we go compare it with the physical universe and go, I still don't have my soulmate. Right? You've now identified, you are empowering that reality as the senior reality. When you go, I have my soulmate, and I'm going to experience him as best I can. I'm going to feel him, I'm going to touch him, I'm going to love him, I'm going to have sex with him. Go for it. One of the greatest affairs I have had in this lifetime was with Natalie Wood. And I never met her. But in my imagination, it was free. I had a ball. Now I have a feeling that if I actually met her in this physical lifetime and had an affair with her, it would not compare to the one I had in my own imagination. That was far, far greater. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
How y'all doing? Oh, whoa! Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Good, take a 10-minute break. Walk around, get some space.